Okay, and now on our second segment here, ano ba ang tamang direksyon? Dialogue, makipag-usap o hindi? Ano? Kasi ngayon, ang administrasyon ni President Duterte at sa ilalim, sa utos din niya, itong mga sinasabi ni DFA Secretary Yasay, maging sober at tahimik muna, pag-aaralan, tapos makikipag-usap. Ang tawag na sa kanya nung mga radikal na ayaw ng anumang klaseng negosasyon at talks, sinasabi na traidor, treason, and so on and so forth. May mga batikos na inkompetente si Yasay. He may be, not as articulate as some people would like, but his position, is it correct? Representing the government, should there be dialogue or should there be no dialogue? Let's ask Butch again and then Ferdy.
I think from the very beginning, si President Duterte, even during the campaign, he has already indicated that he favors bilateral talks with China, regardless of the outcome of this arbitration court's decisions. Regardless of the outcome. I think we must understand this. And Yasay is a cabinet man. He will follow exactly what the president tells him to do. And that is the position. And I think we are grateful that the president has the common sense, way beyond what the previous administration had, to do what is good and what he believes is good for the whole country. Having said that, we must also remember, as we said earlier in the program, that China has always been asking to talk bilaterally, pursuant to the agreement which Philippines signed in the ASEAN.
Yung Declaration of Conduct.
Declaration of Conduct, that in case there is such conflicts in the future, they will take on the diplomatic route to dialogue with each other. Okay, and when the Philippines refused this, therefore it was a breach to that particular agreement. That was China's position. And thirdly, we must understand that when China had taken this position of negotiations, the Philippines, after coming up with receiving this decision of the Philippine Court of Arbitration, had taken a funny position when they said, now that we have the decision favoring us, our position to negotiate is going to be strengthened. I said, I find this kind of ridiculous. Because if the objective of Noynoy Aquino was to strengthen his negotiating position, that's why he went to the arbitration court in the first place, then he should have said so. But since it was not, and what he wanted, as per probably dictated to him by some other influences, what he wanted was to be able to get something so that you will use the decision to propagandize and demonize China, which is right now happening all over the world.
Well, certain parts of the Western world in particular, but you don't hear that in Russia, of course.
No, of course.
Inside India, hindi rin, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization sa Central. Maraming mga bansa na hindi naman pwedeng dalhin na sinasabi ng US na kakampi nila. Let's go to FERDIE. Well, FERDIE, laging sinasabi ni Carpio at ni Del Rosario noon,
Sinong
at ni
Carpio?
Justice Carpio, 51 beses na nag-usap, at walang nangyayari. Pero ang sabi ni Ambassador Encomienda, narinig mo na siguro sa mga press con, na hindi totoo yun. Dahil from the very beginning, andun sa Encomienda. Maybe you can also add that to your comment.
So, magsimula ako doon sa mga sinasabi ng mga hawks, na kinakailangan i-shame campaign natin yung China, i-demonize natin yung China, magkaroon ng international pressure, ang international so-called community para tawag dito, i-ostracize ang China. Ang tanong ko sa kanila bakit pagdating sa Malaysia na ninakaw sa atin ng Sabah, ayaw dalhin ang kaso sa International Court of Justice at patuloy tayong ninanakawan pa at gusto pang nakawin pati ang Mindanao, ginagamit ang MILF, ginagamit ang Abu Sayyaf, ay bakit lahat ng gusto ng Malaysia binibigay natin? Gusto ng Malaysia ng BBL, ibinigay natin yung BBL. Gusto ng Malaysia, sila yung arbiter doon sa peace talks, ginawa natin silang arbiter doon sa peace talks. Gusto ng Malaysia, palitan natin yung ating konstitusyon, kopyahin natin yung konstitusyon ng Malaysia, gawin nating parliamentary federal ang ating konstitusyon. Aba, willing na willing tayong kopyahin yung konstitusyon ng Malaysia. In other words, we are pursuing the course of appeasement when it comes to Malaysia and Sabah and Mindanao. Ay bakit dito sa China napakatapang natin, ano? At ano bang tanong natin ngayon dito kay Justice Carpio? Kung ayaw natin ng peace talks sa China, gusto natin gera? Gera ba ang gusto natin? Baka pag nagkagera, may mga magtakbuhan dyan sa Amerika, mga green card holder at saka mga US citizens.
Meron tayong third part, mamaya, peace or war. Pero,
I think what you addressed is very important. And I heard Ambassador Encomienda categorically say that it is not true that we have had these types of negotiations with China, the type of negotiation that is necessary for this
to resolve this
area.
Yeah.
It is not true, and yet it is being bandied about by no less than the Associate Chief Justice, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, that there was there may have been talks, but not in this particular light. No.
There are many talks kasi we have over 100 bilateral agreements.
Yes.
Just because there are many talks, we should stop talking and pursue war?
Kung meron.
And as a matter of fact, during the Gloria Macapagal arrest, there have been already moves towards joint exploitation of the whole area.
Also.
Precisely. If there were, what were those? How can there be this joint exploitation if there were no previous
that was the
talks.
Joint Marine Seismic Survey Agreement, no?
Right.
Now, yun, nag-protest ng Vietnam, hindi sila kasama, isinama. So that was an ideal situation of cooperation, di ba?
Exactly.
Pero, kailan na-abort yan? 2009? Sometime there, hanggang 2010, no?
Dito kay
Noy Noy na, pinutol yun.
That's why, inaanso ko, when we say we, no? We must differentiate between the we of Noynoy Aquino's administration and the we of Duterte's. Duterte's administration seems to go completely away from what Noynoy Aquino was pushing.
I'll go back to Ferdy and both of you to go back to the topic, pro and anti-dialogue. May mga anti-dialogue, pinaliwanag na natin that and almost 90% of the people agree na kung walang dialogue, walang mangyayari kasi hindi naman tinatanggap yung desisyon ng PCA, no, ng China. So sa dialogue, maraming posibilidad. Let's get back to that and let's ask Ferdy.
So, common sense lang ang gamitin natin dito. Makikipagmatigasan ba tayo sa China? Sige, pinipilit namin. Mag-rally tayo araw-araw doon sa harap.
Bakit may gustong ganyan? Bakit may mga gustong ganyan? Tulad sila Roy Lagones at saka yung sila Noida Nicolas, yung mga galing sa Amerika na pumupunta rito.
Sabihin na natin ng tahasan yung mga gusto nilang mangyari. Ang gusto nilang mangyari, yun nangyari sa Middle East, mangyari sa Asia. Kung saan mag-away-away tayo rito sa Asia, magpatayan tayo dito, para imbis na magkaroon ng economic development, magkaroon ng death and destruction. Pero yung ba ang talagang makabubuti sa mga Pilipino, yung paulanan tayo ng nuclear weapons dito, o mas maganda yung makipag-usap tayo, huwag tayong tumigil sa pakikipag-usap hanggat hindi natin nare-reach yung tinatawag na compromise.
May mangyayari ba? Well, I do recall na ang China at ang Vietnam meron ng joint fisheries agreement,
Yes, of course.
joint fisheries patrol sa Beibo Gulf or Tonkin Gulf, no? Na naaayos nila nagbakbakan yan, libong nagpatay ng mga sundalo ng dalawang panig.
The negotiations in that particular matter took some time. Hindi pwedeng isang araw lang makipag-usap, tapos ayaw na namin makukulit kayo, ayaw na namin. Hindi pwedeng ganun. may series of talks yan bago ka maka-arrive sa compromise.
Okay, let's go to Butch.
Well, the moves of Goles and Nicolas, no, with regard to trying to demonize and getting the country to go militantly against China are precisely, to me, treasonous, no? And they call those that are mas mahinahon at mas sober ang approach dito as traitors. The ones that are actually traitors to the country and siding with the United States or siding with America on this are the traitors to our country. And that's the way I see it. No? Gusto nila manggera tayo. Gusto nila wag tayong makikipag-usap. At ang pinag-aawayan natin itong mga Scarborough shoals, no, for our fishermen and so on and so forth, and fishing rights, no, whereas actually what may happen if they succeed in getting us involved in a war between the U.S. and China, no, 100 Filipino lives will be at stake.
100 million.
100 million Filipino lives will be at stake. No? Yan ang gusto nila. Dahil bakit? Dahil yan ang inuutos sa kanila ng kanilang mga
amo. Kung yung usapan ay magbunga, what do you think the Philippines can get from China?
Well, of course, number one dyan, yung railway system, and then more trade. More of our products will be admitted into the Chinese market.
Isang produkto na sinachampion isang serbisyo na sinachampion ni George C. tourism. Kasi tourism, pag pumasok, talagang cash ang lumalabas, ano? And ang Pilipinas na may mga a little less than 500,000 lang per year. Samantalang ang Thailand, I think, is 8 million a year. Ang Japan is, I think, 7 million a year na turista. Alam natin, matindi ang debate ng Japan at China. Bakit sila nakakakuha nun?
At matutulungan din tayo ng China para mapababa yung mga cost of production natin, katulad ng electricity, water, toll fees, etc. Para yung mga factories nila malipat dito dahil tumataas na rin ang cost of labor doon eh. So mas maganda mailipat yung mga factories nila dito para makapag-provide ng jobs sa mga Pilipino.
Si Butch is a financiman, no?
Yeah, the biggest assistance that China can give us precisely is the infrastructure. At ikinomit apparently from the way I understand the President Duterte's comments, no, they committed not to providing us the railway systems that we need. And he was talking about 3 railway systems. No? I'm not sure exactly what, but one of them definitely was a circumferential railway of Mindanao, and one that traverses the whole of Luzon, and maybe connecting Luzon to
you're a finance man, the AIIB.
The AIIB is precisely going to be the vehicle where other infrastructure projects can be made, most especially on energy. Yan ang nakakalungkot dito sa ating present economic policy na sinabit ng mga econo-quacks.
Econo-quacks.
Na kay President Duterte. I'm so sad. Siguro hindi niya lang siguro nabibigyan ng pansin. No? Pero yung economic policy na sinabit kay Digong did not mention energy.
Yeah.
And surprising that there was a conference in Mindanao.
Summit,
Mindanao businessmen and Manila businessmen were getting together to look for the right type of economic program. And Mindanao, which suffers from brownouts
even today,
every day, no? 8 hours, 12-hour brownouts, will not mention energy. No? This is surprising. Why? Because they know that the only way you can address this energy problem is to address the most debilitating piece of legislation that had been passed in the administration of Fidel Ramos. Okay. It's called the EPIRA law.
Okay. Well, let's take this last break, and next segment, peace or war? Saan ba tayo? Okay, let's take this break.